C4Waterman proudly presents the Hennessey's International Paddling Championship at Turtle Bay, July 19, 2008. This paddling contest takes place on the north shore of Oahu, starting off at Turtle Bay, working its way all the way down to Waimea Bay. Let's get things started at Turtle Bay appropriately with a prayer. Like most sports, the participants take part in a prayer, and unlike other sports, they don't play on a grassy field, they play in God's ocean.
Everybody says, Amen.
Team C4Waterman's ready to hit the water, and the Bradley boys are here in full force. The youngest, Brendan, there's Christian, the oldest, and the patriarch, Todd Bradley. Christian was telling me that this is a warm-up for the big race coming up this weekend, where they cross the Molokai Channel. Good luck, Christian. And off they go into rather treacherous waters. Guy PERE fills us in.
Paddling out the channel was really kind of tricky, getting everyone out there without losing anyone. I think we might have had one person on the reef, but hopefully that person's all right.
It was a surfboard that ended up on the reef, not the surfer. A local spectator stepped in and rescued the board quite heroically, and yes, the stand-up paddler did survive.
Pretty rocky, you know, it took a little bit for everybody to get ready. Had a little bit of crosswake.
It was a little bit sketchy for the first part of it when we were all paddling out, everyone's banging boards and going all crazy. And
once all the competitors made it out and through the channel, they lined up at the starting line, preparing to travel west by southwest. With over 150 participants in the water, conditions were crowded to say the least.
the start was a little bit rough too. A lot of falling and hitting each other, and then after that when we spread out it got a little bit easier.
1 minute into the race and the field of competitors is starting to spread out, and the leaders of the pack are starting to leave the pack behind. Out front, leading it all, Guy PERE.
The start went well. There was a lot of bumps right off the beginning, and I caught a couple of good ones that kind of shot me out in front. And then I had to try and settle down and just kind of focus on, not worry about the paddleboarders, but just focus on the stand-up paddlers themselves. And that was my main goal, was just to know where everyone was and then just catch one bump at a time.
The paddlers are starting to find their groove and keep a steady pace. Let's move on down the coastline to Waialee Beach Park, where we'll find our competitors way out on the horizon in the deep waters.
We are Rasta, sons and daughters, roots.
Guy PERE holding on to the lead out front here at Waialee Beach Park. Trailing behind, Brendan Shea.
Hard race, you know, sticky water, kind of a lot of current stacking the waves, but it was fun. Hot.
Watch how Todd's body disappears halfway into the water. That's how deep the troughs are in between the swells. Let's jump back in the car and head on down the coastline, catch up with our competitors at Sunset Beach, where they're going to have to come in close to the shoreline, go around this orange triangle, which in reality is a buoy, and head on down west towards Waimea Bay. And here we are at Sunset Point, looking out there. There's Guy PERE still holding on to the lead. About 500 yards in front of him lays the orange buoy. Some of the prone position paddleboard racers are already making their way to the buoy. In fact, our leader is just about there, Jamie Mitchell.
Yeah, it was pretty fun at the start. It was probably the best, you know, in the first 10-15 minutes, and then slowly deteriorated. You know, it was hard work. Every little bump you had to really work for, and really flat, so there's really no assistance. You just have to, you know, paddle, and you know, if you stop paddling, you just stop moving. So.
Not far behind, Guy PERE.
The conditions flattened out quite a bit after sunset, so it really became just a paddle battle, just stroke for stroke after that.
Todd Bradley now on the inside at Sunset in much smoother waters, which isn't always to your advantage.
It was fun at the beginning, and we had to go in through Sunset. That kind of took a lot out of you. You have to go paddle in, and then you lose a lot of energy right there. But once you got out in the open again, it got a lot better.
The swell riding wasn't as nice. Swell riding wasn't as good towards the beginning as I thought it'd be, but after we went around the buoy at Sunset is when we got some nice little micro glides, so I was stoked about that.
While SLATER catches the mini glides, let's take a big glide on down to Sharks Cove, where our competitors are going to come in really close along the reef wall, looking for as much energy as they can get with the waves bouncing off the walls.
Any sort of movement in the ocean is better than none. You can always try and find a little bit of a ride or something, so it's always good. A little bit of something's better than nothing.
Jamie Mitchell holding a commanding lead, taking a certain first place. Another first place competitor, Guy PERE.
There wasn't a whole lot of bumps to be ridden all the way to Waimea, so it got hot, it got flat, and slowly I felt myself tiring pretty quickly actually.
You'd be tired too after a 7-mile trek, which feels more like 17 miles, in some epic conditions and some killer heat in the middle of a hot Hawaiian summer. Need I say more? Yes, I do need to say more. Let's head on down to the finish line and catch some more action from the Hennessey Paddleboard Championships here from Turtle Bay to Waimea Bay. Here's the finish line. Once they come in through the bay, they have to get up on the sand, and then they run for it, and it's no short run. Now let's get in up close and enjoy the sights and sounds of the finish line.
Didn't even notice I was running. My legs were numb. I was breathing so hard. I had no idea I was even moving up the beach. It's always a battle coming up the beach, man. That's a huge challenge.
I'm glad we're here now. You know, the beginning's good fun. Could have wished for a little bit more wind, but definitely great with so many people participating.
It's definitely, you know, this Hennessey's International is very important. You know, there's paddlers from all over the world here, so it's you know, it's a top level race, and you know, I'm very honoured to win it. So it's yeah, I'm stoked.
Brutal. It was sticky and not much wind, but it was good. Good practice.
You've been watching C4Waterman's presentation of the Hennessey International Paddling Championship from Turtle Bay to Waimea Bay. I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Tommy Stokes. I'm your host, saying aloha. All right.